Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel for the best part of my week. My name is Jana. I teach kindergarten to grade 5 music. In these videos we talk about my favorite things to teach and my favorite things to learn. However, this week's video will be a little bit different because I was away on sick time for 3 days out of this week. So rather than talking about my favorite things to teach, I am going to talk about how I prepared my subplan and some things to consider when you are making a subplan. I've never been away for more than like a day at a time, so being away for 3 days this week made some extra challenges when I was making my subplan. Luckily, there was only a couple classes that I saw more than once, so I could kind of just plan one lesson for everyone and go from there. So let's start off in kindergarten, opposite of what I usually do. I find kindergarten the hardest group to make a subplan for. Sometimes I find the hardest to plan for. But what I did is some of the routines that we have in our classroom, like how we come into our classroom, our Melody the Elephant activity. We're doing you walk in, you walk in, you walk in, you stop right now. Some vocal explorations. I recorded videos of me doing those for the substitute teacher to post on or to share with the kids on my smartboard. I did this for a couple reasons. Part is because we haven't ever done really any pencil paperwork in music class, so the whole routine of where do we get the pencils from, all of that would have been foreign to them. And I only see my kindergarten kids, I see them half as much as I see everyone else, so I was going to miss them in the rotation by being away those 2 days. So I wanted to make sure that they had some music and that we were still working on those fundamental skills with them, so that when I come back, we're not like a day behind. We still practice moving to the beat of the drum. We still practice using our singing voices. All of that stuff. I felt like it was really important that they did it for a day. So despite feeling pretty crummy, I did record videos of me doing it. And then the guest teacher shared them. And I heard back from the kindergarten teacher and both the guest teacher who was in for me that the kids really enjoyed them. And I think it does make the music class more meaningful to them. I always fear that when it's a sub day, that because there's so few music substitutes in our area, there's like practically zero, that it could end up not being a meaningful day if I don't plan for everyone to be successful. So that's how I did kindergarten for my subplan, is I recorded myself doing those videos of those routine things we did, and then they also likely got about 15 minutes of a Disney sing-along just based on the other videos that they had. Alright, next we will go to grade 1 and 2. And in grade 1 and 2, we've been doing a lot with like quarter note and eighth notes, and I've just assessed them on that, and using like the rhythm of words is how we figure out rhythm and stuff like that. So the big activity that I left for them was an activity to go with the book Orange, I'm going to get this wrong, Orange, Pear, Apple, Bear, I think is what the title of the book is. I'll link a YouTube video for it and an Amazon link down below. So I just had the guest teacher play a YouTube video of it, and essentially the book is a whole bunch of like the words orange, pear, apple, and bear just all mixed up. And the approach that I usually take with it in my classroom is coming up with ideas. So just like, how does this book really make sense? Well, no, but it's a whole bunch of ideas. This is how we make ideas. So then what the kids did is they made an 8-beat composition using the words orange, pear, apple, and bear that they cut out and they glued on. And then when I get back, they're going to put like the tas and titis to match the words, and then we're going to play it on instruments and clap it and all of that stuff. I am going to put the orange, pear, apple, bear sheet that I used in my free resource library. If you haven't heard of my free resource library, there's tons of very cool stuff in there to use, not just for subplans, but for even when you're teaching, for music centers and big group activities, all sorts of free and fun stuff in there. So I picked up my kids' work at the end of the week, and it looks like they did quite well with it. They were able to, they had to cut it out and glue it, and that went over well, it seems like. The other things that I left for them is our Remembrance Day performances coming up right away. So I left like presentation kits of me doing the songs for them to sing and practice. I left instructions on how to play Kitty Kitty or Doggy Doggy, however you play it. And I think I left one other song, Remembrance Day theme song, that they could do while I was away. Now with 3/4, I also left a book-based lesson to go with the story about Louis Armstrong called Just a So-and-So. And then I left them a worksheet to go down along with it, like who was Louis Armstrong, what instrument did he play, what's something that you learned, and that was like their main chunk of the time, just a little introduction there. I tried to find one that wasn't jazz related, but I find it very challenging to find good picture books of classical composers and musicians. So if you have some favorites or some suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. I kind of want to save this for Jazz Week, but there's lots of other books that I can use when we do jazz. So that was one of their activities. They also played kerplop rhythms, which are all in my TPT store. And how kerplop works, it's a lot like kaboom or kerplunk or busted, all of those games. It's my version of it, and I do it as a team game. And the kids have all played that before, so they knew how to play that. And I'm sure it went well. They did the 16th note version because we've just been talking about 16th notes. So I will leave those kerplop games down below, the link to them from my TPT shop. And then they also practiced a song for Remembrance Day that they were working on. And I also left them from Rocky Mountain Music, I believe is who I got it from, some colored by note with 16th notes, so that they can work on reading the name of the note with and matching it up with the picture. So it had like the word 16th note, and then they had to find 16th notes. It should have been something pretty simple, but not many got to it because of all the other stuff I left. So yeah, that's what we did with those guys. All right, now on to grade 5. In grade 5, I left them a video of me going through the game Rhythm Detective, which I've talked a lot before in my other videos. And so I did one where I recorded the rhythms, me tapping the rhythms, and they had to guess, and then another one, and then I left instructions on how to play the game so that they clap the rhythms and they picked the classmate to guess. They were super familiar with that game, so I was expecting it to go perfectly. Then I left them a listening assignment. I like to leave listening for subs because A, I don't do enough of it. B, it's something that they are familiar with because we do just enough of it. And it's an easy thing that the sub can do. The sub literally hands out the sheet. So I had planned to anyways from the planets Mars, Bringer of War. So then I had questions on it. They had to write what the song reminded them of, if they did or did not like it, and why, because we're working on sharing and justifying our opinions of songs in grade 4 and 5 music. So that's always a fun time and very interesting to see what they come up with. And then they had to draw a picture of the scene from the song. I'm going to put some of those on my Bravo board for like to show off their work because lots of them were really, really well done. And I hadn't really talked to the kids before about what sharing and justifying opinion was. We had done it one other time. So I was interested to see if they remembered, like, the question was, I did not like this song because, and they had to circle it. And I said, it's okay for you not to like a song, but you need to tell me why. And telling me that it's weird is not a reason to like or dislike a song. Think of like the music words. I don't like it because it's too fast. I don't like it. I had lots that say I don't like it because it's too loud. I had lots that say I like it because it has a good beat to it, or I like it because it has energy, or I like it because it reminds me of a song from Star Wars that I heard, and then they would tell me a story. That's what I like to see when we're talking about sharing and justifying, and we're still working on it. But lots of good things starting to come out there. And then I also left them just a music word search, just in case I needed some of them to fill time. And it looks like lots of them got through it. So next time I'd likely leave a more useful thing to go along with a listening assignment, but not all of them start on the word search. And I did a word search on percussion instruments because we're going to start to talk about like classroom instruments and reviewing classroom instruments with all of my kids in the school. All right, so those are all of my grade-specific activities that I left in my subplan. Now, I have done a lot of subbing myself, like a lot of subbing. So I also wanted to share with you some tips that I have as a substitute teacher for you when you're making your subplans. I always find it very, very useful if I know ahead of time who the kids I can count on are and who the kids that are going to need extra support from me are. So in my subplans, I have for each grade level, if you need a helper, these students would be good choices. If you may need to watch these students for yada, yada, yada. I always appreciate that as a sub because it gives me a little bit of a heads up going in. Knowing information like a bell schedule, Who picks the kids up from class? Who takes the kids to music class? Is that my job as a music sub, or is that the classroom teacher's job? Obviously, knowing if you have outdoor supervision is super useful to know. Hello, Ember Ray. Are you going to join our video? Oh, you're just going to sit right there? Okay. Well, you can sit right there while I finish. Things like knowing who a good teaching friend in the building is. So, like, if I have questions, who can I ask about this? Leaving copies of seating plans is super useful as a sub. I'm trying to think of anything else. So those are the things that I like as a sub. Now, some things that I considered when I was making a sub plan is I tried to make sure that my activities had some musical value to them. So that's why instead of just letting my kindergarten kids watch an entire hour or 35 minutes of a Disney sing-along, I gave them about 55 minutes of like quality music content, and then they got to watch the Disney sing-along. Rather than just letting my 3/4 just do a color by note, I wanted them to do that, listen to that story about Louis Armstrong, so that they're starting to be exposed to that kind of stuff. Rather than just putting on Just Dance for my grade 1s and 2s, I had them do that Orange Pear, Apple Bear book activity so that it still is musical. It still has musical value. I never feel like I have enough time, so I didn't want to waste away like 2 days of teaching with just videos because I was away. I feel like my time is so precious with my kids that I needed to find quality things for them to do while I was gone. In saying that, I also wanted to make sure that they were accessible. Like I said earlier, we have very few music substitutes in our division. Like we have very few substitutes in general in our division. So it's lucky if you even get someone who has like music, like high school music training. I needed it to be something that the kids could do pretty much independently, that the teacher could literally read the instructions off the sheet and the kids would be good to go. So that's why I picked some of those activities. And even when I had when I left instructions for Kitty Kitty, I said, ask this child how we play this game. Oh, and the last thing that I'm going to say for you as a teacher as my suggestion is have like a basic model of a sub plan ready to go before you have to be off for 3 days. That's really what saved me, is that I already had like my classroom procedures typed out. My classroom rules, my expectations, my kids who are helpers and my kids who need extra assistance. All of that was already typed out before I had to type out the rest of it. So that saved me a ton of time, and now I have that for all of my other stuff as we go on. So that's what I have to share today. I really hope that you don't have to take 3 days off of teaching. But if you do, I hope that this has given you some good ideas of what to leave in a sub plan and what things to consider when making a sub plan. Yes, Ember. Usually on this channel, this isn't what we talk about, but that's how my week went, so that's what we're going to talk about. If you like the content, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share so that you get notified of future videos and that other music teachers can find this content. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!